Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Kellerman. That is a guy who won a couple of belts, Andre Berto.
I did a little
That is all-decade NFL first team.
Yeah.
And all boxing fans.
There you
first
go.
team.
bit. Totally get it right now.
LaShawn McCoy. I don't know who this is. He just showed up. No, this is Mike Coppinger, our insider. All right, the guy with all the information. Guys, it is time for the lead hook. Apropos today, because Vergil Ortiz was a heavy favorite against Erickson Lubin on Saturday night. Most people thought the fight would be competitive. Someone on this set thought that Lubin would win. It was not competitive. Lubin did not win. Ortiz knocked him out in the second round. And look, guys, we talked about whether Vergil needed to make a statement following Boots Ennis' introduction into the division when he knocked out Wisma Lima last month. So did Vergil Ortiz make the statement? And I'll phrase it like this. Considering the opponent, because he obviously made a statement, right?
That's right.
Considering the opponent, did he one-up Boots? Did he one-up Boots, Mike?
100%, Max. I mean, we never heard of Lima. Lima's a solid guy. He had fought on the road in England a lot of times. Erickson Lubin is a bona fide contender, and as we discussed on the show last week, was a once rising star. And yes, in the fight, it was clear that his punch resistance was gone, but Vergil took full advantage, punched around the guard, took advantage of him being on the ropes, and a second round TKO. I picked late TKO, so you have to give him props, right?
I do. Did he one-up? Because Boots, no matter what you want to say about Lubin, the way Boots did it, you can't do it better than that, right?
Yes.
But this is a real guy.
That's a real guy. It's a big difference. And that's one thing that we have to see with Boots that we're still, like I said, we're still waiting to see. We're waiting to see him fight another elite guy on the other side of that ring and really try to show up.
And what about Ortiz? So he one-upped them? Did he one-up them?
I believe so.
You believe he did?
I believe so. Because like I say, man, like my guy Lubin, he is a real fighter. You know what I mean? He is a real fighter. But like I say, he made the cardinal mistake by sitting on the ropes with an animal like Ortiz, and he paid for it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Shady, because it's like when you look at it, when you really break it down, what did Ortiz do that was so special, right? Basically, Lubin was going to give it to him. He's like, okay, I'm going to rope it, whatever he was trying to do. And Ortiz is like, all right, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it.
And you know what? And he took his time, though, right? If you really watch it, though, he go to the body a couple times. He took his time, and he got with that ropes, and it was good night. I got to be honest, though, man. You know I love me some Boots.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a one-up. I think it's a two-up. Because the opponent you did it against, right? We always trying to figure out who the hell Boots was even fighting, right? Even though he did what he was supposed to do to him, because I always say this. If you make him my opponent, I'm going to show you why we're not on the same level. And he did that. But when you get a guy like Lubin, who is known, who is a respectable fighter, and Vergil did that to him?
You know, I don't want to take credit away from Vergil Ortiz, who's one of my favorite fighters. Like, he doesn't duck any smoke at all.
No, he
right?
don't.
And you see the Boachuk fight, and you see, by the way, Mean Machine, and he's been in there with Madrimov after the Crawford fight, and he took over in the second half of the fight. So I don't want to take anything away from him, but I guess I'm about to do it. Let me ask you. I'm not anti-Vergil Ortiz. I just want to state what we saw.
Okay.
Sergio Mora made a point on the broadcast, and I thought he was right about that.
Okay.
Just eyeball test. Sometimes a guy gets his wiring redone if he's knocked out, right? And Sergio brought up punch resistance.
Yeah.
I can think of a guy like even Meldrick Taylor. You used to remind me of Meldrick when you were prime.
Of course. One of my
Meldrick
favorite
Taylor
fighters.
had this incredible fight with Julio Cesar Chavez. He got knocked out with 2 seconds to go, got stopped. And then no one remembers this. In the rematch, he was boxing Chavez's ears off. Until Chavez hit him once, the fight was over. The punch resistance was gone. Can you speak to that? What is it? Because it looked to me, eyeball test, he didn't get hit on the temple, he didn't get hit on the chin, he just got hit on the head, Ortiz hit him on the head, and the fight was over.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been seeing it my whole career. I mean, like I said, you see great fighters. They go through that process. Of course, they can box, they can do all these different things. But once they get into a certain fight, it's a certain fight that they have that really catches them and really hurts them for some reason. Somehow, some reason, man, it just doesn't sit the same. You know what I mean? It's very hard for them to take those shots.
Ortiz can certainly punch. We know that. But that's why I said I don't want to take anything away from him. So we're saying he gets all this credit because it's a name opponent.
Yeah.
But how much of Lubin do you think was in there?
He definitely wasn't the Lubin that we've seen throughout the years, of course. I mean, he took some tough losses against Charlo, against
he was devastated against Charlo in the first round.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then a tough loss against Fundora. He took a lot of punishment. He took a lot of punishment. It looked like Ortiz just went out there and he definitely just capitalized on it.
Now I mentioned Ortiz is one of my favorite fighters. I love his personality. I love his style. You're right, Shady. He took his time. I mean, look at this. Right now, he's avoiding the punches a little bit. And then, I said he didn't hit him. He hit him on the head. No, it was on the side of the cheek. It was almost on the chin.
It's somewhere up there, man.
Yeah, but he hit him on the equilibrium.
But that was, that shot on the jaw, I think, is the one that really, he went from I'm here, I'm trying to ride with these shots to the fight was over. After the fight, Vergil wanted to smoke with Boots, and he called him into the ring.
Where we want to fight the best, Boots, come over here.
I
think this is the fight that has to happen, man. I think this is it.
But I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. And I'm going to show his team. They've been talking all crazy. They've been talking crazy. And I'm going to back it up, and I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. It don't matter. The time is now. It's that time. Let's get this money. I'll make you pay for everything they saying. Straight like that.
Ain't nobody's gonna pay over here.
I'll make you pay.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I guarantee you. You're a great fighter. You look tremendous. But I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. I got something for you.
You got a yes for me?
I got a yes right now. Hey Eddie, where the papers at? Hey, where the papers at, Eddie?
There's so much there that's so good. Listen, first of all,
it's a good fight.
He says, what'd he say?
You got a yes for me?
Is that a yes? Is that you got it for me? You have a yes for me? I'm trying to get this fight. Chris Mannix, I thought, hit the nail on the head when he said the big takeaway from that is that's the most animated that I've ever seen Boots
ever
in an ring. If that guy comes out more, right? Now you really have a star because he's giving like the public a view of himself. If that fight happens next, we're going to get into whether it should happen next, what we think about it. If it happens next, who should be favored?
Don't say nothing crazy.
Who should be favored?
Nothing crazy.
I think if I had to make a favorite, right, I would say Vergil, though, just because Vergil has fought the better competition, right, and he's beat him, right. So I would go with Vergil. But the only thing is, while this fight is interesting though, and not because it's nothing but Philadelphia. After Crawford beat Spence, right, I talked to Boots about, because it was a conversation about would you fight Boots, et cetera, or would you fight Terence? And he was so calm with it, like, yeah, I'll fight him. He was just calm. And then watching him there, he's like, yo, I want to show the world. Y'all said I was ducking this, that, and the third. Do I have a yes? I got a hell yes. So what I'm saying is, I don't know. Because that Boots, I've never seen that Boots. Boots is always calm and collected. Like he want to whip some ass.
It seems to me like someone got in Boots' ear and was like, dude, you're right there.
Yeah. Well,
if you stop this like one-word answer stuff, what do you think,
Well,
Mike?
you know who was sitting next to Boots during the fight was Eddie Hearn, his promoter. So I'm sure if anyone was in his ear, it was Eddie. But look, I think
Eddie did a great job getting it out of him in that case. Yeah.
But what I think it is, right, Max, is you have two guys in Vergil and Boots who are finally now reaching their prime, probably gaining a lot of confidence. They're both on great streaks. And I think that, this is the right time for the fight.
Yeah.
Boots looks good with those combinations.
Listen, all I'm saying, Mike, I'm not going to get you, but when you watch like Vergil, because he's really, really good, right? Yeah. And he's done a lot, and he's beat good competition. But then when you watch Boots, you just see the wow. You see the you start drooling. Pause. You start seeing the drooling. Wow, this guy is so special. You see the skill. You see the speed. You see the athletic ability.
You want to walk back the drooling thing or no?
I said pause. But I'm saying you see all them things. That's why we love Boots, even though he hasn't fought the best competition.
But there's a difference between doing it against this kind of competition.
I know.
Let's ask the guy who's been in there.
We need to be able to see this fight happen next, man. And like I say, Boots, it looks like he's tired of everybody saying that he hasn't fought anybody.
Okay.
Right.
And he feels like he does have the goods.
Trey, who should be favored? Who should be favored in that fight?
Get to the point. Get who we were favored, baby.
Ortiz probably should be favored just because we haven't seen Boots in their real competition yet. But that's what we're fiending for.
Right.
And this is the fight that needs to happen there. Just to make sure that we know that's the guy that we believe that he is.
I think Boots should probably be favored based on the history of boxing, which is if it looks like a well-matched fight, the longer guy with the better defense or who plays defense more usually has the advantage there. Because when you have the reach and you have the height, you don't have to take as many risks, and you can capitalize on the other guy's mistakes when he winds up taking the risks. Not that it's always the most fan-friendly, though Boots can be fan-friendly.
Yes.
But that's why the idea, though, that Boots is this superstar in the making, I don't know. That's why I asked Vergil Ortiz last week when he was on this show, how do you feel about the fact that it seems to be the Boots Ennis story and you're his test instead of the other way around? Nevertheless, that's the way I also see it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is a genuine coin flip fight. I think the odds when the fight is eventually made, it'll be minus 150 or, they're going to be close.
For whom?
Real close.
I don't know who it's going to be for.
Who would you have minus 150?
Look, I think Boots has obvious advantages, but you can't overlook the fact, right, that Ortiz is battle tested in the ways that Boots is not.
So who would you have minus 150?
Right now, Boots.
Right. But that doesn't mean minus 150, what Copp it seems to be saying, and I agree, is if you're forced to say who has the advantage, but that's a long way from saying, that guy's going to win the fight. Who knows?
Right.
But just like you said, like a guy like Boots, he's supposed to have the advantage. He has the reach, he has the range. He has the ability, but we need to see that under fire. We haven't seen it under fire yet. We need to see him in there with an elite guy that can take that and give it back to him to see how he's going to react.
That's a good point.
You could see that Boots is not a B fighter.
Sure.
You could see he's
that.
some kind of an A fighter.
Yeah.
The question is what kind of A, right? Because it's hard to tell until you're tested. Terence Crawford is an A+, right?
Yeah.
A guy like Devin Haney, to me, is around an A- based on his career so far, right? But with Haney, that's the question. What kind of an A fighter is he? Because he's not B.
Right.
Yeah.
Same question with Boots.
Boots,
I can't give him more than an A- right now just on the eyeball test. If he beats a guy like Ortiz, then you think, that's an A fighter. But we don't know if he is one. We have to find out.
Because, matchmaking's an art, right? Guys look good all the time against, lower opposition. Look at Adrian Broner. Broner was a good fighter, but he wasn't an A.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Early, at 130, he looked like he would be an A.
I thought he
didn't
was.
have the discipline to stay down at 130, Broner anyway. All right, look. People are saying that if Vergil and Boots do fight next, it's too big a fight to happen without the Ring Magazine Championship on the line. It sure would be convenient, right? Because that's the biggest fight you can make in the division, and it should crown a champion. Shady, do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that, though. And I love Boots, and I want Boots to win that fight, but I look around and I think we love Boots because what he looks like, right? When you talk about the eyeball test, when you watch Terence Crawford, you're like, whoa, you can see it. Even, and I won't get too crazy with it, but like even Roy's my favorite fighter. When you see him, you don't know nothing about Roy. You're just like, wow, when you watch him.
When you see Roy, you go, no one's going to beat that guy.
Right, so, but when I look at Boots, I'm like, I see that talent too. Right. Only thing is, Fundora, right?
Right.
He's beat a lot of good fighters.
Yep.
So I think he's earned the right for maybe he should have his fight where it should be for the ring belt.
By the way, this is...
But if it don't go like that, I'm cool with Boots, baby. I'm cool with it.
Shady's got a good point, Mike. Mike,
does.
what was the fight recently that could have been for the Ring Magazine Championship but wasn't? Was it a Shakur fight?
Shakur and
Zepeda.
Right.
So let me. So
Shakur neither guy was number one at the time. Gervonta Davis was number one.
Okay, Gervonta Davis was in there. I would argue Shakur and Zepeda, and even according to the Ring Magazine policy, last I looked, sometimes it's usually if number one fights number two. Sometimes if number one fights number three. I would say there should also be times where if number two fights number three, if number one's not going to fight them, right?
Okay.
Because when we say 1, 2, 3, we just mean contenders. The title is vacant. The championship is vacant.
Right.
I think Zepeda and Shakur should have been for the championship, but it wasn't. Okay? But that's a debatable thing. Here, I agree with Shady. I don't see how this could be for the Ring Magazine Championship when Boots Ennis has had one fight against a non-top 10 fighter in the division, and Sebastian Fundora is sitting there with, the 1 and 2 guys in the division are clearly, based on resume, Vergil Ortiz and Fundora in whatever order you want to put them. Is Shady right about this?
Shady's right. Yeah, I have to agree with
thank you, Mike. Oh, yeah, I like that.
I wrote that down.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, he's
right. I like that.
Look, obviously, like you were saying, conventional wisdom, right? Boxing opinion is that the best fighters by far at 54, the summit meeting, is Boots and Vergil. But he's right. Fundora, we can't just dismiss Fundora because we want to. Fundora's one out there actually winning the fights. He beats Tim Tszyu twice. And he's supposed to fight Keith Thurman. We'll see if it happens, if it gets rescheduled. but it's hard to just dismiss him when you're talking about crowning a champion.
And the issue, Andre,
Lots of politics.
yeah,
brother.
the issue is this is the kind of thing the sanctioning bodies would do because it's expedient, it's convenient. That's a big fight. Let's make it for our belt.
Yep.
But it's not fair.
Yep.
Because there are other guys who've earned the spot. So, is there a world in which maybe they don't have to fight each other immediately if you want it to be for a title? Because let me give you an example of a fight that would be for the title. Vergil Ortiz fights Sebastian Fundora. Has the Thurman fight been rescheduled?
Not
Because
yet.
Fundора's been injured. Hasn't been rescheduled.
No.
Ortiz Fundora would be a guaranteed war.
War.
It would do business, and it would crown a champion, and it would also give Boots Ennis time to earn a title shot in the division. What do you think about that?
Great idea on that. Great idea on that. I think that makes all the sense in the world. But like I said, this boxing business, like I said, we've seen these politics play a big hand in it for years. So I mean, I think that's the way it's supposed to go. And we'll see if that. I mean, like I said, we'll see if it comes around.
Now, let's say it goes according to plan, and it's Boots and Vergil next, and whoever wins, Fundora's still sitting there, right? Like you can still do it after the fact. So there is some wisdom in saying, hey, this fight is hot right now. Let's do it as a piece of business. It's a big fight. And then we could find out who the real champion of the division is after the fact.
That's a fact.
What would your preference be?
I think my preference would be like I said, I really would love to see Ortiz and Fundora fight if they could.
Bombs away.
Just get to it. No reason to waiting. No reason of going through all the politics. You need to get these guys. These are top guys in the division. There's no reason just to wait around for it. Just need to make it happen.
Could we see this though? So I was thinking like if that happens, right? Then you get because Boots is new in his weight class.
Yep.
Maybe get Xander Zayas, right? Get him and Boots, but let them.
Well, Zayas, wait, hold on. Mike, I want to come to you in a second, but I want to watch something first because this man has the info, has all the info that you're going to be
come on, man.
All right.
What is that?
In his post-fight press conference, Vergil Ortiz made it clear he is here for all of it.
I mean, look, I'm here to fight the best. I don't care who it is. It can be Boots next. It can be Spence next. It could be Crawford next if he's still willing to do it. Because that's a fight that I've been calling for a while. I think that's a great fight to make happen still. Man, we're just gonna keep doing what I do best, and that's just being me.
He a dog though.
All right. Mike, give us this, what can you tell us? Mike knows a lot of stuff.
He knows a lot.
The rumors and everything, but what can you report?
Look, what we can say, Max, is I spoke to Vergil's manager, Rick Merigian. He does a great job for Vergil. Been with him for a long time. And he said, not necessarily next for Ortiz and Ennis. He said they're going to talk to Golden Boy, Ortiz's promoter, and see if the deal can make sense. If the deal makes sense, they'll do it next. If not, they're going to explore their options with Errol Spence. He said he has a meeting set up with Errol Spence and his manager, Adrian Clark, and he's going to look at that. And if not, he said Jermall Charlo is out there, obviously another Texas guy. So you're talking about two Texas guys in Spence and Charlo that can make big business. Now, usually I'm against doing those kind of fights when you have a big
Marinating fights.
I don't like marinating fights.
Who's going to win going in.
But in this specific scenario, you have a guy in Vergil that's not really established himself as a star yet, and same for Boots. And I think those guys can get closer into it.
Shady, we have 30 seconds.
I just want to know, what's up with this whole thing with Errol Spence? It's because it's Texas boys in the AT&T Stadium, right? It's Jerry's World. Is that what they want to do for the money, I guess?
I mean, Spence hasn't fought since the Crawford loss, a couple of years now. But Spence is a big deal in Dallas still. And you're talking about two guys from the Dallas Fort Worth area.
You know how bad that Crawford beating was? Errol Spence was undefeated, pound for pound, top five. It's a 50-50 fight with Crawford. But Crawford beat him so bad, it's like he has 10 losses on his record already. It's his only loss.
Right.
It's his only time.
I love Errol Spence, though.
Hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter.
Errol was great, yo. Errol was great.
He put 10 losses on his record.
Don't do him like that, Max. It was like I said, it was a tough loss, brother. I mean, I think this weight was great for him. Sit outside, relax.
For Spence, rejuvenate.
Yes, rejuvenate, recover. To come back. When you're ready, you made a lot of money. No reason to try to.
If he's 90% of what he once was, that's a hell of a fight with Ortiz.
No, for sure.
But with Ortiz will find out if you're shot.
Ortiz,
what he just
real
did.
deal, though.
He'll find out quick if they're shot. All right, guys, we will be right back with our best bets for Eubank Jr. Benn 2. Yeah, that's coming right up next on Inside the Ring.
Live only on DAZN, November 15th. Eubank Jr. versus Benn 2. Their first clash was a modern classic, a fight of the year contender that gripped the world. And now it's the rematch. Chris Eubank Jr. looks to close the case once and for all. Conor Benn comes for revenge. The greatest families in boxing go to war once more. Eubank Jr. versus Benn 2, November 15th. Watch only on DAZN.
Captain Hook.
Boy, it was crazy.
Andre Berto
Yes, sir.
just got that from the silhouette.
Yes, sir.
Usually I need a line or two. Dre looked at the silhouette, was like, that's Roy Jones.
That's a record,
Listen,
though.
I was born and bred in this thing. When I see
That
just
was
a
impressive.
silhouette, I can just see
Florida fighters see a silhouette of Roy Jones. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a
Florida.
record.
In the NBA, you have
Florida
Jerry
boy.
West. If you did it in boxing, could Roy be part of the silhouette conversation?
If
a holiday.
Roy Jones would have retired,
nice, yo.
Roy Jones
Roy was
opened as a
something
2-1 favorite to beat Mike Tyson after the Ruiz fight. Think about that.
What?
He opened his. He was. If I would have told you in 19, well, when Tyson knocked out Spinks in one round,
Okay.
no one would say it out loud.
Yep.
But everybody in the world was thinking the same thing. That might be the best fighter of all time. Mike Tyson, right? When he knocked out Michael Spinks.
Yep.
If I would have told you on that night, there's an amateur junior middleweight who will never come close to actually losing a fight for real, who will be the middleweight champ, super middle, light heavy, jump up to heavy, beat a top 5 heavy, and open as a 2-1 favorite to beat Mike Tyson. By the way, he's only a year younger than Mike, so they're like the same age. You would say, well, that's the best fighter ever. And if he would have either retired after the Ruiz fight, or if he'd have fought and beat Mike and Evander in a 2-step, he would be universally, and then retired, he'd be universally considered not only the greatest fighter of all time, maybe the greatest athlete of all time.
And he was a showman, though, right? He played
Roy was
basketball.
the best physically gifted fighter ever.
Ever.
Roy would go in there, he'll hit you. I'm talking about like Roy hit you with everything, and nothing by the book, but he'll hit you with everything. Speed, power, agility. Roy would go play a basketball game that morning.
And then get criticized for who he beat, but then the dude he beat would go win a belt.
That's it. Then he'll go that night and whoop you that same night.
I was such a Roy Jones fan. This is the true story, right? I met Tarver probably like 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I didn't want to meet him. I didn't even want to meet the brother. Yo, when Roy Jones lost to Antonio Tarver, I didn't even want to talk to him.
Bro,
I hated him.
We are going to talk more Roy Jones later in this show.
Dog.
That was crazy.
Yo, big Roy Jones fans on this show. You know why? Because we have eyeballs. That's why. All right, listen. The number 1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter, super middleweight champion of the world. Super middleweight. It's hard for me to imagine. Like, that's where Roy Jones was at his best. And now Terence Crawford is super middleweight champion.
Like that.
He is. Bud is like that. He said recently that his favorite fighter of all time is, Roy Jones Jr.
You know
that Roy was unbeatable in his prime.
Yes, sir.
So we just lauded Roy Jones. Has there ever been a more unbeatable fighter in their prime? And by the way, I will spare you the Sugar Ray Robinson talk because it's before everyone's time. Sugar Ray Robinson, just to let people know, when he was 40-0, right? When he fought Jake LaMotta, who's an all-time great middleweight, in his prime, who couldn't get a title shot. It's not that he moved up to middleweight. It's that he came in 145 pounds. LaMotta came in like a middleweight, 160 or around pounds. Imagine if, like, Floyd Mayweather would have fought Triple G at the time, but not move up to middleweight, just come in at 145 pounds, 146, and beat Triple G, right? So that was his first loss. He'd already beaten LaMotta, but he loses a close fight. He wouldn't, and then beat LaMotta 4, so he was 5-1 against that dude, right? He wouldn't lose another fight till his until he had 130 wins.
That's wow.
And was middleweight champ by that time.
That's amazing.
So let's put Sugar Ray Robinson aside.
Put it aside.
Because no one's seen him. I've seen home movies of him at
Put him on the
welterweight.
top shelf.
Right, but you see him at middleweight, but welterweight footage is hard to find. But I've seen home movies of him at welterweight, best I've ever seen. That includes Roy. Apologies. But in our lifetime, has there been a more unbeatable fighter than Roy?
So I want to go with my time watching boxing religiously, which started in 2002, and for that, it's Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, when you were watching him in his prime, it just felt like nobody could touch him.
Yeah.
From the
The problem
Barrera
is
fight.
people did touch him.
Yeah.
And then
You can't say no one touched him if he lost to Morales. He got knocked out by Marquez. You can't say no one could touch him. He got touched.
That was not prime when he
And
fought Marquez.
I'm
The knockout
huge
to
on
Marquez
Pacquiao.
was not prime Pacquiao. I'm talking about prime.
You're saying
2000
Morales is pre-prime.
Yeah, I'm talking
and
about
Marquez is post-prime.
when he's on his tear.
I agree, guys. That's true. What he just said is true.
When he fought Cotto.
What he said is true.
Yeah.
What he
No,
said is true.
I love Pacquiao. That's one of my favorites. But I'm gonna go with Roy. Dog. Roy made everybody believe they can fight, right? Every athlete, every guy in the NBA, every guy in the NFL, I can be Roy. Roy was so special. He was a showman, right? It's one thing about I'm a great fighter.
Yeah.
It's another thing I'm coming to be entertained, and he entertained everybody.
He
so
did it all.
the dude started doing what is he called? Like concerts before the fight.
Basketball
I remember
game before
all
the
this
fight.
with Roy Jones. So yes,
Y'all must have forgotten.
Y'all must have forgotten. So I'm saying Roy was so good, and I think we forget how great he was. There was a point in time where he was, I don't call him arrogant, but it's like, you know you can't beat me. You know that.
I'm going to throw another name at you to see if you remember this guy.
Okay.
Ike Barabucci.
Ike Beabucci?
Ike Barabucci.
I was the one blowing him up on TV. I wouldn't stop talking about it.
Listen, Ike Barabucci was a
That's a great
menace.
call.
Yeah.
He was a menace in the heavyweight division.
But he
I
wasn't the
loved
most
him.
unbeatable ever. He had a
I'm
close
not gonna
call
say
with
not-
to David Tua.
No,
He was a
you're just.
boogeyman, though.
I'm saying,
He was
but you're
a
saying
boogeyman.
just in his prime,
Yeah.
like guys
In his
that looked
prime,
like
okay.
they were going to.
No doubt.
I wanted to see Ike, if he didn't go to jail for as long as he went to jail, I really wanted to see what his reign was.
Dre, let me tell you a story about Ike
Barabucci.
Beabucci. Okay, my
I
first.
used to love Ike.
Remember Friday Night Fights on ESPN2?
Yes.
Okay, so this
Yes.
is '98. It's the debut fight,
You
and I'm
know.
off public access TV at a public access show on boxing, fresh out of college. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and they want to do a night previewing young heavyweights. Michael Grant and I forgot who else. And I was like, how much editorial influence do I have? Oh, we want to know from you. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do Michael Grant and someone else. We're doing Chris Bird and Ike Beabucci, okay? And they were like, who's Ike Beabucci? I couldn't pronounce his name. I said, go cut tape and come back and tell me what you think.
Listen,
They
Shady.
come back the next day, they're like oh.
that. Like that.
So the reason I started talking about Bird and Beabucci is because like Robinson and LaMotta,
Yep.
and I even used that parallel at the time, no one would fight these dudes. So fight each other, see what happens. I get a call from Chris Bird before the fight. They're like, we heard you talking on TV. Cedric Kushner was the promoter for both guys. Let's make the fight. Now, Chris Bird was a blown-up super middleweight,
Yeah, of
really.
course,
Amateur
yeah.
silver
Yeah.
medal.
So underrated.
Yeah, of
and,
course.
and he was excellent, Chris Bird.
Amazing.
But he told me
I know
he
that's
told
what it
me
is.
he was gonna go to the ropes. I said, Chris, you can't go to the ropes against Ike. This is not David Tua. He wound
Yeah.
up beating Tua later.
Yeah.
Chris did. He's gonna keep throwing punches. Don't go to the. He went to the ropes, hubris, and got knocked out in the
Got
fifth
knocked
round.
out.
Ike was a menace.
Ike was a menace in the heavyweight division. Young,
But not in the conversation for most
I
unbeatable
know,
fighter.
but I'm just saying, we didn't get a chance to really see what he can do. But he
I
probably could
got
have.
one out. That was a good one. Why not Ali though? Right? Because
Ali at his very best, yeah.
My pops, right? My dad was really into boxing. That's why I started watching as a little kid.
Yeah.
And if I watched Ali, and if they didn't take that jail time not jail time, but taking his license from him,
Yeah.
bro, you couldn't even touch
There
him.
are other candidates, Pernell Whitaker, Eder Joffrey in his prime, and others. But anyway, I'll tell you about him another time. There was someone who's been mentioned as a potential next opponent for Bud Crawford is the winner of Eubank Jr. Benn, the rematch. Okay. Now, that's a fight you can watch exclusively right here on DAZN, and we should get into a little of that here, guys. What are your best bets for that fight this Saturday on DAZN? This Saturday on DAZN, you're going to see the rematch of an absolute epic, an instant modern classic. We'll start with you, Copp.
All right, Max, I'm going to go with one fighter to be knocked down, plus one knockdown in the fight at minus 175. That means you have to bet $175 to win $100. And I know there were no knockdowns in the first fight, but we had both guys on the show. Both guys said they want the knockout this time. They've studied each other. They've seen what each other guy has.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see one knockdown in this fight, at least.
All right, okay. So, but you didn't get great odds on that, but okay. Minus 190. Okay, good. What you got? Oh, you want?
I don't know what my odds are looking like, but I got bitten by late stoppage.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh,
you like a
Benn,
little guy.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Ben with a late stoppage, man. I think that I believe that last fight, left a bad taste in his mouth. Looks like he's going into this camp with a little different, urgency in this camp. And I think he had time to really sit into that weight as well. I think I definitely think that he made time to really try to look at it and try to make the adjustments here for this next fight as well. So I think
plus 330.
I think
you bet $1, you get
Make some money.
$3.30
Make some money with that one.
late stoppage, so we can see a nice trilogy to add to the books with these guys.
So far, both of your picks are horrible. Go ahead.
Let's match this thing up.
What you got? What you got?
You bring in Mac. Chris brought in Mac, and he said on this show, he said, listen, I'm finishing this job. I ain't going to the judges. They don't like each other. Obviously, they hate each other. And I think that Eubank finished this thing between the 7th and 9th round. Just because the way he's talking, you bring in Mac, and you know what that looks like with Terence Crawford. And they don't like each other?
At least you got some good odds.
You better not change it.
Listen. And I like to bet, right?
Yeah.
I don't bet no more football, basketball no more. I only bet boxing.
Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna lay me some odds down to get this paper.
6 plus 650, not a bet. You got. I mean, it's very specific. 7, 8, 9, right? But okay.
Yeah, I mean,
now I'm going to
that's
tell
it.
you the proper bet for this fight. Okay. In modern boxing, there's so little to choose from in a lot of rounds, right? That's why you get weird decisions sometimes beyond corruption, right? Sure. Beyond that kind of stuff is, I guess this guy. There's no more tie rounds. There used to be a lot of 10-10 rounds when I was a kid. They got rid of that. 10-9 could go either way, so you wind up splitting a lot of the quiet rounds or the close rounds. You get 15-1 odds on a draw in this fight. And the thing about the first fight is neither guy really imposed his will on the other guy, right? Every time one guy tried to take the play away, the other guy stepped up. To me, the rematch has a drawish kind of feel. Yeah. I'm taking 15-1 odds on a draw.
Wow. So you think it's going to be a fight 3?
I think there'll be a third fight. Maybe not immediately, but I think eventually there will be. This has the feel to me of a trilogy.
Okay. Yes, we need to see a trilogy with this one, man. That's where I feel.
By the way, you know what happened in the rematch of their fathers?
Okay, draw.
Yeah.
Well, you thinking outside the box? I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Put that in my notes.
Mark Ortega, our researcher with among other things, with the assist on that one. All right.
Okay, Mark, I see you in the back doing your thing.
Our informant, Mike Coppinger, breaks some news you don't want to miss. We'll be right back on Inside the Ring.
Yo, can you sponsor me? No,
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max Kellerman, Shady McCoy, Mike Coppinger, and look who's here, Andre Berto. One of the in his prime, one of the fastest fighters with the hands you'll ever see.
Make some money on you, my boy.
I did my thing.
You know what? We got the same type of hook, though. Like my speed. What that look like?
Nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Mike, boy, wake Mike up.
Gotta wake Mike up. You know why? You know what time it is? It's time for our informant. It's time for Copp's Corner. What you got for us, Mike?
All right, first off, Max, we have Christian Mbilli coming off of that fantastic fight on the Canelo Crawford undercard against Lester Martinez, ended in a draw.
Yes.
There's been talk of a rematch, but I'm told that there are now talks of Mbilli and Jaime Munguia, former title holder at 154, fighting early next year. I think it's a great action fight. Got a fever Mbilli.
If I'm handling Munguia's career, maybe I don't want it with Mbilli. Like Martinez fought a great fight against Mbilli. It was the exact fight I thought it would be, and I thought Martinez would win that fight. I thought Martinez would have the upset in that fight. And he fought exactly like I thought he would. But Mbili's physical presence and determination are next level, Andre. They're next level. It's not like a normal pressure fighter. This dude is for real. I hate that from Munguia, but it is a great action fight while it lasts.
Yeah, it's a great action fight, and Munguia, of course, coming off of that win over Bruno Sarash in May in the rematch, had a doping accusation before that. So right now, that's what we're looking at. And Mbilli and Munguia, not finalized yet, but they're working toward it.
Can I ask a question real quick? Because, I'm not new to boxing, but you guys are more experienced in that.
Yeah.
What's up with that camp keep getting busted or accusations about them doping and all that? And it's like we just skip right over it.
Skip right over.
Even with the Canelo thing, we just jump right over it like it never even happened. I'm thinking like, and I love steak too.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Occam's razor?
Yes.
Okay, Occam's razor means the simplest explanation that describes the most phenomena is the answer. So what's the one thing that would describe a lot of failed tests? Whatever you think that thing is probably the answer.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying it just needs to be a little bit more pressure on that camp because we're seeing it left and right. Not just and it's just not it's just not that much attention on the situation. I just believe if it was any one of us, it would have just been all over the damn place for sure.
Us, the blacks.
All over the place. All over the place.
But I'm joking. But,
You're showing a lot of progress actually on this show because earlier in the show, there is an African-American fighter out of Philadelphia, and I asked you who should be favored, and you said the other guy.
Wait, hold on,
That is very strange for you.
I take my job serious. I love Boots. I take my job serious. But real quick, when you're a fighter though, because in NFL, like everything's on the playing field, a fair playing field, right?
For sure. Is it?
Majority of the times.
Is it?
Now, when you fight a guy and like the camp is known for getting in trouble from doping, etc., like how do you still go on there? Like, do you like ignore that or because?
What you mean, like other fighters that are in the camp?
Yes, fighters you about to fight in that camp, and they always get busted for doping. Like, how does your mindset change?
I mean, of course it changes, but it's up to the fighter as well to talk to the manager, talk to the promoters. Listen, we need to get some testing done. We need to make sure these tests. Are in place. Like I said, moving over to this fight because
you've had experience in this world. Tell us about it.
Of course, I had experience in it. Going into the Ortiz rematch.
Right.
Ortiz rematch. I tore my bicep. We had to have surgery. I spent some time out, took a nice little vacation, came back. I hopped into camp, and then they said I had a failed test by little traces of nandrolone. I didn't even know what that was. Not even enough to even give you any type of advantage. I don't know where I got it from. They say I got it from something. So, like I said,
so you feel like the rules were enforced a certain way for you.
We went through that process.
Yeah.
And when I say it was everywhere, ESPN, on every media outlet, that I was the biggest drug, cheat ever. And of course, we had to go through the process to clear the whole situation up. But still, that is still.
They act like you hit 73 home runs.
Man, they act like
brothers don't cheat though. You know that, right? Brothers don't cheat. We don't take none of that stuff. You know that, Max. Don't get
Barry Bonds. You
know that, Max.
Barry Bonds was 34 years old, hit one home run every 13 at-bats. He was one of the greatest players of all time.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes.
Then McGuire and Sosa came along, hit 1 million home runs. No one was really paying attention to Bonds. And 3 years later, at the age of 37, he hit one home run every 6.5 at-bats. How'd he do that?
Wait, hold up. Brothers don't cheat for
push-ups.
Second of all, hold up. That baseball's a little weird, though. They kind of, you know what I mean? They all like, hey, let's.
What are you hearing about Jermall Charlo?
Jermall Charlo.
Let's be clear, not Jermall Charlo.
Yeah, the bigger Charlo, Jermall Charlo. He shared a card in May with Caleb Plant, right?
Yes.
Charlo fought Caleb Plant, lost in a big upset to Jose Armando Resendiz. Charlo won in the main event, and the thought was put these two together in a fight. Now I'm told that they may just go ahead anyway, even though Plant lost, and do the fight between Plant and Charlo as plans during talks to do that next year, sometime in the first quarter.
It's good.
And it's a good fight.
Two good fighters with good careers.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, but I think that fight should have happened. Those should have happened.
But
years ago,
It should have happened.
But is it so? I get what you're saying. Sure, ideally back then, but. Is it still a fight worth having? Like if I hear Plant and Charlo were fighting, I'm watching it.
I think so. It's a real grudge match
I expect
too.
it to be pretty good.
Don't forget at the Crawford Spence fight that week, Charlo and Plant got into it. Remember there was a slapping. I think Plant slapped him. They were talking words. So I still want to see it. Two big names.
Yeah, and they also have personalities, and they can both fight, and they've had good careers. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we get the winner against Mbilli. If Mbilli beats Munguia, which I think he would.
That's a little different.
You talk scary.
See what happens when you start to understand who the characters are in boxing. All boxing needs is to know who's who.
Right.
What makes them tick, what they want, the obstacle in front of them, what's on the other side of the obstacle. Once you know the characters, nothing's better. You're introduced to Mbilli, you know what he's about. You know what Charlo and Plant are about. Ooh, the winner of that fight fighting Mbilli. Coming up, another character boxing fans are getting to know, Shu Shu Carrington.
Brooklyn
joins us right here on set. We're inside the ring.
That's a bad man.
Live only on DAZN, November 22nd, The Ring 4. 4 world title fights in 4 different divisions. David Benavidez, the undefeated Mexican monster, defends against London's own Anthony Yard. Devin Haney moves up to challenge Brian Norman Jr. Bam Rodriguez looks to unify against Fernando Martinez. It's the night of the champions. The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
In the words of Mike Tyson, but I mean every single word here too. I'm the best ever. There's nobody but nobody like me. I'm telling you, listen, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's nobody like from near close. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. Something with your heart. I waited his children.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, Shady McCoy, Andre Berto, and we are joined now by, this is what's great about Ring Magazine's rankings. Oh, this guy has the B, this, the I, that, all these belts, right? And he's the number 6 contender. Yeah, the number 6 contender in some sanctioning bodies. There are a million sanctioning bodies. He might be the 15th best, 20th best fighter in the weight division. He, Shu Shu Carrington, is the number 6th ranked featherweight in the world by Ring Magazine. That means he's actually, it doesn't mean he's the 6th best, he might be the best. But it means that he has earned the ranking
That's right.
as number 6 in line for a shot at the title. Shu Shu, you infamously called yourself the best featherweight in the world.
That's right, that's right.
What gives you the conviction to say that now, and how do you plan to prove that?
I mean, well, you know, to be honest, I've been in the game for about 21 years now. I've been boxing since I was 7 years old, and the experiences that I've had, I've seen almost everything. I've been through the Olympic circuit, probably like, I was Olympic alternate for the 2016 Olympic team. I was supposed to go for the 2020 Olympic team, but COVID kind of messed that up. And just my experiences, and then once I turned pro, I'm sparring these champions. I'm matching myself up against these guys, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I can definitely sweep through the division if I really want to. So that's why I make it known to everybody, the doubters, the believers, that I am the best featherweight division, the best featherweight.
As a New Yorker, I spent most of I live in LA now. I spent most of my life in New York. It really kills me that New York has not really represented at the highest echelon of the sport. Have a lot of good fighters, but not a lot of great fighters recently. I look at certain geographical areas in the country. I think like Cincinnati, right? Ton of talent, but man, they like crazy in Cincinnati. Something's going on that they don't really reach the heights they should. I look at the Baltimore, D.C. area, same sort of thing. Good fighters, but man, there should be more. And New York is another spot like that.
For sure.
For other reasons than the other two, though, I feel like New York fighters feel like they've made it before they've done anything, right? And so they don't really. Cincinnati and D.C., Baltimore is something else, I think. But New York fighters act like they made it too soon. How do you guard against that?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like when you come from New York, you have this kind of ego, you know? So you kind of just walk around with it all the time. But me, I try to stay a little bit more down to earth. I stay real humble, and I understand that I have a lot of work to do, and I got a lot of things to get done. So at this point right now, and for the rest of my career, I know I'm gonna make it to the top, and I definitely plan on being the best fighter to come out of Brownsville. I see Mike Tyson, he's an icon, and I would love to, you know, get to as big as he is. You know, that's just my aspirations. I can definitely believe that when the best fighters are named, Shu Shu Carrington, at the end of the day, will be mentioned in those conversations.
Real quick, speaking of Brooklyn fighters, we had Richardson Hitchens on the show, right?
Yeah.
And he said, hey man, we love our Brooklyn fighters.
Yeah.
But he didn't claim T.O. as Brooklyn. Do you claim T.O. as a Brooklyn fighter? I just got to know.
Man, T.O. know he not no Brooklyn dude, bro. Come on, man. No, like all due respect, like, you know, he was probably born there, but he wasn't raised there. Like you don't see T.O. and associate him with Brooklyn. He doesn't act and move like a Brooklyn dude. Like, you know, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see me or you see Richardson Hitchens, you see Zab Judah, you can easily put Brooklyn with that. When you see Teal, you don't get that. You know what I'm saying? And there's
He got a little Brooklyn in him.
Yeah, right.
You know what? People make this argument in basketball, like New York's not allowed to claim Michael Jordan, but he lived in Brooklyn till he was 10 years old. Wow. To me, I don't know that he got like interacting with Teal, you don't see any Brooklyn.
Yeah, he does. But see, that's the thing. Teal didn't. He was not raised in Brooklyn. At least Michael was like 10 years in the game. Of course, you're gonna see. I think Teal kind of learned on the job with some Brooklyn stuff. Like,
his dad is very Brooklyn, though. You got to give him that.
Yeah, of course, Brooklyn for sure.
His dad is very Brooklyn.
You know, his pops is Brooklyn. You got to give it to him. But Teal not.
But when so I've been a fan, obviously, of your game, right? The way you fight.
Thank you.
But I ain't gonna lie, what really sold me over though, after the fight, you did the whole Mike Tyson joint. I said, yo, I had goosebumps on my sleeve. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, like, even being from Brooklyn though, and do you feel like you got to carry that legacy though? Because it's a lot of great fighters from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
you feel like you got to carry that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. That pressure has always been something that I've entertained carrying, since I was in the amateurs. And, I always say, pressure busts pipes, but pressure make diamonds too. You know what I mean? And I always saw myself as a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, look, Shu Shu, I'm a big fan of you as a fighter, but also the way you carry yourself. You're so mature for your age.
Professional.
And you're a true professional, like Shady just said. I know you've been calling for these fights, and you haven't been able to get them yet. You want to see you and Nick Ball. You've called for it. And there's a lot of big names out there. Rafael Espinoza. You name it. Who do you want next year, and when will we see you against a champion? Or title holder, I should say, as Max would say.
I mean, I would love to fight just any of these guys, man. I'm really shooting for Nick Ball. Like, he's the guy I've really been shooting at. If not him, the second on my list is Rafael Espinoza. Okay. It's not a lot of guys that are calling these, names out like the way I am.
They're not calling you out.
Like, even Nayo, anyway, even when he came to my fight, one of my fights, man, like, I called him out. He was in the crowd and stuff like that. Rafael Espinoza, call him out. He's in the crowd. I go to Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton's fight, see them in the weigh-ins before they even fight, and let them know whichever one of y'all fight and
that's
y'all
Brooklyn.
Win. Come see me next.
Do the Ortiz and call you into the ring.
Okay.
I'm doing it different. I'm stepping to these guys, man. I'm really serious about this because I have supreme confidence that I will beat everybody in the division.
That's my guy. Hey, listen, my guy Shu Shu. That's my guy.
We go way back, man. We go
way
back.
We've been in the camp together. We even sparred with each other.
Yeah.
He tried to beat me up a couple times.
Who won the sparring session?
No, there's no winning and losing. It's just learning. It's just learning.
Don't
pass it to me,
bro.
Stop that. So who after the sparring session was talking?
We fought hard together.
We learned a lot.
So you taught him a lot as an amateur? Stop that.
So I know that Shu Shu has the goods, and I definitely want to see him in a title fight coming up. But of course, I think he asked my question to see who you wanted to fight. Out of all the champions, of course, you got Fulton and Fulton coming up as well. But I think they're fighting at 130 for that one.
Yeah, they're fighting at 130. I've kind of like just took took my foot off the gas a little bit with Fulton because he has his other aspirations and stuff like that. So that's his journey. Do your thing, man. I've always been a fan of Fulton too, but business is business.
And he don't duck though. I gotta say,
he don't duck.
Steph don't duck.
I know he's from Philly, right?
He don't duck.
He's from Philly. What to say?
He don't duck.
I don't. Hey, listen. I'm not saying he ducked.
He don't duck.
I just feel like it was just. I just be bothered, bro, because as soon as I won my fight to become the mandatory, or like just next to be the mandatory to fight for his belt, he decides to go up. I'm just like, damn.
But it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Though. It does happen.
And he said that weight was messing with him.
He is entitled to have feelings about that. Let him express himself.
100%, and he is right. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you only had like 2 fights in featherweight, bro. Like, come on, like you couldn't have grown out the division that fast. But hey, that's my opinion. And that's just what it is.
Fighters like you, young fighters, are interested in belts because sanctioning body belts are promotional tools. Maybe you get paid more if you have one. You get to say, I got this belt and that belt. The reason I love the Ring Magazine Championship, which I've been shouting out now for almost 25 years. Sure. I've not mentioned a sanctioning body title, if I could help it, on the air for almost a quarter century, is because you have to be the champion of the world to have Ring Magazine. I want to show you something. I mentioned it earlier. Look at these ratings. I said you're the number 6 contender in the division according to Ring Magazine. Now, here are the featherweight ratings, right? You have a vacant title. You have the following fighters in front of you and right, but those are the 10 best featherweights in the world. You want to crown a champion in that division. Who are you looking at? If you could choose one, who are you looking at?
Oh, Nick Ball for sure.
Nick Ball.
Yeah, I want Nick Ball. I definitely, I just really feel like it'll be a big fight, you know, with the New York crowd that I have, and then, you know, the UK crowd he has.
He has a fun style.
A fun style. I feel like, you know, I'm such a dude where it's just like, you know, I want to satisfy the crowd with the, you know, the fan-friendly fights, and I felt like that right there. He just fights with like a heart on his sleeve, bro. It's always fun to watch a little guy just go in and just try to be a bully.
You got the reach, you got the height.
Exactly.
Everyone has the height over Nick Ball.
Yeah, right.
Everyone got it, you know, but I got the IQ. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's gonna separate the difference between me being a victor and, you know, and him.
One thing about little fighters, when people are like, even when they look like they're not smart fighters, they have to figure out a way to land their shots.
Yes, 100%.
Right? You know, people even look at old tape of like Rocky Marciano. Oh, he's primitive. Oh, yeah, really? Then how come they somehow he's landing those shots? That's not coming out of nowhere, right?
100%. I mean,
how do you neutralize Ball?
Man, I can't give you the game plan, man. I can't do that. That's
what
why
about Espinoza, who's undefeated and the #1 fighter in the division, according to Ring Magazine? What about Espinoza?
Man, I would love to fight Espinoza as well, too. If I cannot get that fight with Nick Ball, Espinoza is next on my list. You know, with him, I've been a fan of his ever since I saw him beat Rovacy Ramirez the first night. I actually fought on that same night, and I was just like, whoa, like this dude, the way he just throws so many punches, and you know, his athleticism and his stamina, everything about him. The height, everything is just, it's like, he seems like he could be the boogeyman, you know, and that makes me want to fight him even more.
There are lots of, there have been, especially in recent years in boxing, starting with like Paul Williams, right?
Yes,
there have been a lot of tall, long-arm fighters. Fundura's obviously but there's something about Espinoza, like he has a little more snap on his shots, right? It's not just high volume, but they're snappy high volume shots.
Sure.
And he can land them from a distance. He doesn't have to crowd his own power. That's a lot, Shu Shu.
No, it is. But listen, bro, at the end of the day, to be great, you got to take risks like that. You have to take risks like that. And I'm not trying to just be a title holder. I'm not just trying to be, you know, just, you know, a guy with a belt. I'm trying to be great.
All right, listen. Before you roll, I want to ask you this, though, because you guys are both with top rank. The Monster. Is that one of your goal fights? Because they'll tell you, I love my brothers, and I love my brothers from Brooklyn. And it would mean the world if you take that fight and win that fight.
Man, you know, I've been calling this dude out since I would say 2023, and you know, before he got knocked down, before he seemed less invisible, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You know, like I was the guy that was there because I see certain things that falls right into my style that he lacks, and again, you know, that's also a big payday. Like you know what I mean?
Cold turkey, Mike. What we waiting on? What we waiting on?
I see
you can call. He's a great ambassador.
Come on, babe. You know, but I see, you know, he has other things that he wants to get to. He has the Nakatani fight might be coming up. You know what I'm saying? So that is going to be a huge obstacle for him to get past. But if he does do that and then he moves up to featherweight, I am here to take the fight.
You looking at Nakatani like, damn.
Yes, I am.
He might beat me to it. He might beat Nakatani.
He's
you said that though. You did say that.
Nakatani's tough.
I'm not picking against the Monster.
Yeah,
He's one of them. But that is a dangerous fight.
100%.
He could lose that one.
100%.
And you're looking like, oh man, he's gonna get there first. Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
yeah. I want to be the first guy to beat Nayo anyway, man. And you know, that'll definitely make a big difference. A big difference, man.
So look, we've got some massive fights in the pipeline to close out the year. We want your predictions on a few of them. All right, you ready?
Let's get it.
Eubank, Benn, the rematch. Who do you like?
Man, that's gonna be a great fight. Remind me, first my memory, is the weight class the same as the first fight?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Chris Eubank could hold the weight because he had some trouble the first time, and we got to see if that's going to affect him.
Exactly right. Everyone talks about the fact that he's a naturally larger fighter. Yeah. He was favored in the first fight. He had a little more refined skill, all that kind of stuff. Yes. But that's a big thing to dry out like
100%.
that.
And that's one of the main reasons why the fight was that close, honestly. Because if it was like, you know, he was rehydrated and properly in the right way, I think it would probably been a little different. But I do think that Chris Eubank still wins, but it'll be a close fight. I think it'll be
all right, guys, we got like 90 seconds here. So we did Eubank Benn. You think Benn has chances based on the weight?
Yes.
Haney Norman Jr.
Ooh, that's a good
Devin
one.
Haney versus Brian Norman Jr.
The winner is going to be all depending on what Devin Haney does. Honestly, no disrespect to Brian Norman. He's a great fighter in his own right. But I definitely feel that Devin Haney, if he uses his feet, and he boxes, he has the better chance of winning the fight. Now,
if Devin Haney fights him the way he fought Ramirez, you think he could beat that? You think that Devin, because that's the last time he was in the ring, can that Devin Haney beat Brian Norman Jr. at welterweight?
Same footwork, more offense.
Right.
Pitbull against Lamont Roach. Pitbull, Cruz, Lamont Roach.
I think Lamont Roach's style gets Pitbull.
Layup. That's a layup.
Yeah,
Boxing. That's a layup.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And I like Pitbull, but his last two, not the last two, out of this 2 fights ago, and even when he fought Rayo, he just hasn't been looking a little the same. He's been looking a little vulnerable.
And I went to that round fight.
All right, listen, guys. Shu Shu's going to stick around. You're going to stick around, right?
Yes, I'm
all right, okay. One more segment at least. Look, we talk Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and much more coming up with Shu Shu Carrington on Inside the Ring.
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 185 fights on DAZN every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts.
Are you going to take?
With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, undisputed.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Max Kellerman. That is Shu Shu Carrington who's joining us today. Andre Berto, first timer on the show also. Happy to have him. Mike Coppinger and Shady McCoy. Guys, we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the rumors around a potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Andre, we've seen what Manny can still do. And I've seen your social media thing going, making the rounds about you fought Floyd and what makes Floyd special and everything. And I think these are 2 of the most special fighters of all time.
Yeah,
like they're both in the top 10 pound for pound, whoever lived, wherever you want to put them.
Yep.
Pacquiao fought to a draw with Barrios.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Based on your experience being in the ring with Floyd, can he, at the age of almost 100 now, because whatever you want to say about the exhibitions and everything, it's a farce to fight. If Pacquiao's a draw with Barrios, Floyd is going to have to be better than that to beat Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Which means they're both fighting at like top 10 in the world level in their weight class, right?
Yeah.
What's your assessment of Floyd right now based on when you fought him and what you've seen since then?
I mean, I can look at even when I fought him, he was very aware of everything. Of course, very alert. He was still, like I say, he still had great timing, but he didn't never try to overdo the situation, right? He wants to just try to do enough just to win each and every round. You know what I mean? He didn't ever want to push the pace. And I kind of see the same with Pacquiao. Listen, these guys are almost 50 years old. You can't expect to see a Floyd Mayweather that fought, Miguel Cotto. You can't expect to see like a Manny Pacquiao, that fought Morales.
Miguel Cotto, or Miguel Cotto, or Ricky. Miguel Cotto and Ricky Hatton are the 2 who caught it from those guys.
They caught it bad. Like I said, these guys are 50 years old. You need to understand.
Good fights.
They're great fighters.
Cotto gave them both good fights.
They're great fighters, but they're going to be
Cotto is so good that if you could do that to Cotto, you're 2 of the best fighters ever, right?
That's a fact.
You have to be.
So, okay. Floyd, in these kind of matchups, if it's evenly matched, I always like the longer guy with a better defense, right?
Right.
That's Floyd. But he hasn't fought world-class opposition in a long time. He's older than Pacquiao. Based on what you just saw, what do you think is going to happen?
Man, Pacquiao looked great against Barrios, man. I ain't even going to lie. Just seeing him turn back the clock was amazing. I love Floyd, right? And I would love to say, I think he would beat Pacquiao, in this. It would be tough, though, because like you said, the age and, the inactivity and I'm going to still pull for Floyd, though. I still pull for Floyd just because the IQ. And then on top of that, I really feel like he is going to work so hard because he does not want to lose. That is like a part of his personality.
Exactly.
That's something that he just cannot lose. Exhibition or not. He's going to be
50 people try. 50 people lose.
Right. That's why when people say, Dre, when people say, but Floyd's undefeated, he's undefeated so far. Until a fighter is at the very end of his life, you don't know about that record. It's not like other fighters have not been past 50-0. They have.
Right.
Julio Cesar Chavez went way past 50-0, but you stick around it. So the whole aura of he never lost.
Yeah.
Even if he's 100 years old, that kind of there's a lot of
risk. But for Floyd, that's where he lives by. That's it. He's not going to let you beat him, even if he just does enough just to win each and every round. He's not going to go to the extreme, in the fight if he doesn't have to. But he needs to make sure to keep that on. And I think with a guy like Pacquiao, at least he's going to hop in the camp and he's going to get, try to get in the best shape possible. Just try to do it again.
There are 4 fighters that I've lived through their eras where when they were in their primes, I don't care who they're fighting. I'm not picking against that dude. Pernell Whitaker, Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, and now Bud Crawford. When those guys are in their primes, they're like, he's fighting so-and-so. But Floyd's not in his prime. Mike, Floyd's not in his prime anymore.
Very far away from that. No, you make a good point. It's like, we know what Pacquiao can do, right? We just saw him fight in July. Mayweather hasn't fought since 2017 against Conor McGregor. The last real fighter he fought was the guy sitting to your right, Andre Berto. Right. So I don't, look, it's hard to ever see Mayweather losing. The fight isn't even finalized yet. But it does scream out off the page when you see Pacquiao look that way.
Apologies to Dre, but really it's upping you. That was not you in your prime anymore who fought Floyd. That's not like that was prime Andre Berto. So the last time Floyd fought a real fighter in their prime, you got to go back way before.
Now we cooking some more grease now. So now you said you're rooting for Floyd, or who'd you say? I'm just trying to get everybody's.
I'm going to give it to Floyd.
You said Floyd, right? You said.
I'll say Floyd.
Best believe he's still training right now. You think he's talking?
So y'all cheering. So what I'm cheering for is just a good fight. Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. Because we got 2 grandpops now. They are grandfathers, right? They got grandkids.
And the fact.
The first fight we see, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't entertained. Was y'all? Because I wasn't.
No, I wasn't.
So we gonna run it back 10 years later, and we think we gonna get a good fight. So what I'm rooting for.
I interviewed Pacquiao after the fight in the ring in that fight. I was not impressed.
Okay, so and first right there. All I'm saying is. Because I love Floyd. Yeah. And one of my favorite fighters of all time is Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I just want to see a good fight. That's all I want. Yeah. I don't care who wins.
You think
I'll be clapping if they have a good fight.
I think because it is 10 years later and they kind of slowed down, I think it might be more entertaining this time. I think so.
No legs.
More than the first.
No legs.
Wait, more than the first one though?
Huh?
They're going to be tired. They're going to be grabbing.
By the way, I could see it's hard to imagine a world where Floyd loses a professional fight.
That is wild.
Yeah. However, if it's actually a good fight this time and Floyd loses, you know what that means? More business. It means more business.
More money.
So on the one hand, you think, oh my God, that'd be the end of the world for Floyd. And then on the other hand, he's entered he's going to make another $100 million.
I think that would be the end of I think it will be the end of the world for Floyd. If you know Floyd, Floyd lives by that oath.
I can't see Floyd losing though. It's just I can't see Floyd Mayweather losing a boxing match.
And he's going to make sure that you don't see him lose a boxing match. Still now.
The thing about that undefeated thing for Floyd, he was after he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought fighters.
Of course.
However, the fact that he never lost, he never had a bad day, even when he had a bad day, he was never unprepared to the point where he could lose. And even guys like Andre Berto at the end of his career, Floyd got criticism. Berto's at the toward the end. Victor Ortiz. Ortiz isn't great, but Berto could still fight. And Victor Ortiz was a hard-punching, quick-handed southpaw, right? Like, you never have a bad day ever enough that the other guy can win.
Right.
That's a lot. Over that amount of time, that is a lot.
I was supposed to fight. I was supposed to fight Floyd that time.
That's right.
When I fought Ortiz, they threw Ortiz in front of me. I was upset, mad. I don't know who this guy is. He just got finished getting, beat up by Maidana. I don't want to fight him. I'll probably go into camp 5 weeks out. Just being young and being upset. I remember walking out to the fight, and it's in the woods in Connecticut.
Yeah, I was there. I was ringside.
Didn't even expect that many people to be there. I walk out. I see Floyd. I see 50 Cent. I see the whole gang. I'm like, oh shit! I walk in the ring. I see Ortiz. He's just hopping He's hopping. He's looking like a mad dog. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a tough night tonight. Yeah. So it's gonna be a tough night tonight.
That was a tremendous fight, though.
Yeah,
that was an incredible fight.
Great fight. Great
Let me
fight.
ask you real quick before we leave with Floyd Mayweather, because we are Floyd fans, right?
Yeah.
But, and you guys box, so y'all know better than anybody. But you ever feel like that when he became the man, like he kind of handpicked a lot of these dudes? Okay, I'm going to fight this dude.
Once he left lightweight.
Yeah.
Once he left lightweight.
And like, I can't ignore that though. As a boxer, do y'all feel like that?
I mean, yeah, you can kind of see that, and you can say that. I feel like he started to just take the blueprint from other fighters that were ahead of him, and a lot of guys that he was calling out that weren't taking the fight. That he's like, all right, so now I'm gonna do that to you guys when I get in position.
That is an interesting point that I have never heard anyone else make. By the way, that is a very interesting point. Shu Shu, we touched on it a bit when we interviewed you before you were like a panelist. The number one fighter in your weight class is Rafael Espinoza.
Yeah.
He has a fight Saturday. He faces Arnold Kigai on Saturday in Mexico. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Arnold
Mike
Kigai,
Coppinger?
Kigai.
I'm the worst with names. You know, I was calling him Evander Holyfield for the first 5 years. I don't know what's happening. There's something wrong with my brain there.
That's crazy.
Anyway, the fight can be watched on the Top Rank Classics channel on Tubi, Roku, and Vizio. What do you expect to see from Espinoza Saturday?
I think that he's gonna continue, being dominant. I feel like Arnold Kigai's style is gonna kind of be tailor-made for him. Arnold Kigai, he likes to throw power punches, but this dude here, he's like a surgeon even in the inside. He knows how to throw good body shots. He has great variety in his punches, and
see how snappy those are, guys?
Very
like for a tall guy with range who goes high volume, they're not coming in like pillows, man. They're coming in.
And the angles too. He torques his.
Keeping everything at the end of the shots.
I don't know if Kigai is going to be able to deal with his onslaught. I don't know if he's going to be able to deal with it. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight for for this weekend. But Espinoza is going to be the winner. For sure.
You keep fighting at least as good as you talk, and we'll be in good shape over
Thank
here.
you,
All right.
man. Thank you.
Shu Shu Carrington, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 featherweight in the world according to Ring Magazine. Coming up, legendary British boxing commentator Adam Smith previews Eubank Benn 2 next on Inside the Ring.
But Anthony Yarde, he fears no man. He wants David Benavidez, and there's not a lot of fighters in the world that do.
Body shot from Yarde. Shot to the head, down he goes. Solid shot, right hand.
Anthony Yarde.
Bad blood. Genuine hatred. Chris or Conor. This fight living up to all the hype.
Chris Eubank.
You think about great rivalries in boxing, you think about Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. 35 years on, the Sons of Legends reignite that flame.
His dad don't even like him.
How many eggs did you have to eat to fail those two drug tests?
Oh, tempers flaring there. Really has erupted down there on the stage.
My own father, a man I idolized for my entire life, thinks I'm a disgrace.
It's a main event that has all the ingredients for a classic. The chance to settle the score. He's here! And the crowd are going wild! Father and son reunited!
Let's get this party started!
Bad blood, genuine hatred. The story is like no other. Chris or Conor. Here we go. Big right hand from Eubank. Back comes Benn. He's knackered. Switch on. It's really heating up in there.
How does the loser sleep at night?
Oh, good shot from Eubank. And he walks right through it.
Work!
This fight living up to all the hype. Etching their names in history.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards after 12 rounds. The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank Jr.
The procedure was indeed parliamentary. Chris Eubank Jr.
dramatic stuff. Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Mike, Andre, and LaShawn. That's right, I'm using your actual first name.
LaShawn.
Yeah.
He said
My
LaShawn.
mama call me that. Just call me Shady, please.
Government name.
Look, as we anticipate the rematch it was a great fight. There's no other way to say it. Earlier this year between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, we thought that the perfect guy to bring in to talk to us about it was the man that called that fight, and here he is, Adam Smith. Adam, thanks for joining us. Look, I can only imagine. I've called a lot of big fights, right? I've also been in Rocky movies. And in Rocky movies, you have to go over the top when you're broadcasting it because what you're seeing is something that's surreal, right? The drama is surreal. What struck me when we just watched that video and heard your voice was when Eubank Sr. gets out of the car. You're going over the top as though it's a Rocky movie, but I imagine it must feel like you're doing a WWE event or something. The drama is like beyond reality at that point, and then the fight turns out to surpass even the kind of atmosphere surrounding it. What was it like? Just what was that whole experience like?
Utterly thrilling, fabulous, wonderful. First of all, it's terrific to join you guys on such a prestigious show. It's brilliant, and it's fight week here in London. I know Mike will be over for the huge rematch on Saturday night. I have been following the Eubank Benn story for over 3 decades. When I was a teenager, I looked up and admired both of them for their different ways. The dads, Chris Sr. for his theatrics and his wonderful chin and skills, and Nigel for his ferocity and his raw sort of heart on your sleeve mentality. And what's happened is that they just transferred that through the genes into their sons. And I think after all the hoopla, after all the controversy and the madness in the build-up, we didn't for one moment believe that Chris Sr. would be there. Nigel had been around Conor all the time through the weeks, and Chris had slated the fight and said he wasn't happy with the weight and everything else, Senior. So for him to get out of the car was just an incredible sort of shock, surprise. It was surreal, and it was one of those moments which you just won't forget because it was unpredictable, and the beautiful sort of synergy of having the 4 of them there for such a special night, because the names are etched in British boxing history, Benn and Eubank, after their 2 fights back in the day, and the characters and the fighters come again. And what happened, guys, was that it lived up and beyond all expectations. So the 2 of them shared their souls, their spirits in the ring. It was a pulsating 12-rounder, and we can't wait for round 13 on Saturday night back at Tottenham.
Yeah, that's what was crazy. After he gets out of the car, Andre, as Adam says, there's no way the fight can live up to that at that point. It surpassed it.
Yes, it did.
It surpassed it. It did.
It did. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing fight. My guy Adam, how you doing? This is Andre. I got a question for you.
It's great to see you. I remember covering your career in depth, and lovely guy and fantastic to reconnect even over the water. But yeah, I bet you're looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely. I got a question for you. With Mr. Bomac joining the corner for Eubank for this next fight, are you expecting to see a different Eubank for this fight in this rematch?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the in-form hot trainer, of course, with Terence, and I know Amir Khan spent time with him as well. Junior always does things differently. He says what he believes. He's intelligent at sort of manipulating the press media build-up to his advantage. And now he's gone and hooked up with Bomac, which I think psychologically is an important point, but also very much so, with Terrence's success and his wonderful night against Canelo, it's the place to be. And Chris has spent a lot of time in America training, as his dad did, fighting in his very early days. So yeah, they've done everything they can. I mean, he's turned 36 now, Junior. He's had a long career. So I think he probably just wants that extra bit of, I don't know if help. I mean, he knows how to fight. He'll fight the way he wants to fight. But to have someone like Bomac in the corner for him, I think can only be an advantage.
Adam, obviously you've been a part of countless legendary nights in British boxing history. Years from now, when you're all said and done, where do you think this Eubank Benn series of fights, we'll say, we don't know how many they're going to have, will rank for you among the best fight nights you've experienced ringside?
Right up there, and in terms of sort of rivalry, it has to be the top, because we've had Carl Froch and George Groves, which was a fantastic modern duel after their first fight and the rematch at Wembley Stadium. That was great. They didn't like each other. But this is about the whole families. This is about the fathers that had that huge hatred. And of course, they boxed in front of millions on terrestrial television back in the day. And then when I was at Sky Sports, we had Chris's world tour. We had the last chapter of Nigel Benn's career after that thriller he had with Gerald McClellan and other big defenses of his world titles. So, Nigel and Chris were heroes, legends in their own right. And their sons may not have eclipsed the world title wins that their dads did, but it's still an incredible sort of ferocious hatred and a story. And I think that's what the football fans love here. Boxing is a sport that we love, and it's in us, and it's been in us for years. But you ask the guys, the girls on the streets in London, they're football fans, and they turn up for the casual big fights. They want Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to fight. They know about them. They know these guys. They know the stories of Eubank, the stories of Benn, the tales of old. And I think that the rivalry is phenomenal. And I think because of that first fight, because it was so good, that even if the second isn't quite as good, and I think it will be, I think there'll be pockets of fire. I think they can't help themselves, the two of them. And I think they will go toe to toe again. And I think they'll give it as much as they did first time around. So look, if Conor gets the win this time, and of course Chris starts favourite again, he did it last time, but Conor will be definitely full of fire and full of belief, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight with Chris. He's the younger man, and he'll believe he can right the wrong and get revenge. And if he does, it's one apiece. There will be a trilogy. So, yeah, I think that whatever happens on Saturday night, and I'm expecting another barn burner, another incredible night in British boxing history. But I think, yes, absolutely, looking back in years to come, I think this will be the rivalry. I call this unfinished business, but I don't think it'll ever be finished, the Eubank Benn story, because, of course, there's respect between the dads, there's respect between the kids, but they're polar opposites. They're made for this. They're very, very different families, and because of that, we have this wonderful story that just captivates generations. And I think it will live with us long. And yeah, certainly as long as boxing goes on, these two will be talked about. The two names, Eubank or Benn. And which side are you on, or were you on?
Adam, big fan, man. It's funny hearing you talk so calm, because some of your commentary, you get me going, goosebumps up the sleeves, you get me rolling. So it's cool to see you like this. I want to ask you though, you followed the fathers, their careers. Obviously, you're following Conor and Chris's career. I want to know, in this second fight, do you think that the weight cut with Eubank, would it be a big issue in the second fight? He talked about how the first fight, he took his body through hell. Do you think in the second fight, it'll be a bigger difference, or you think it'll be a lot tougher in the second fight?
That's a really, really interesting question. And it's great to see you. And thanks. The goosebumps, I think it's just the passion I've got for this sport. And I love fighters and whatever level. But this is an absolute cracker, because it's got everything for me. I love stories. I love narratives. I love tales. I love personalities. And when they go and fight like this, I mean, it's just a win for everybody. But I do think that Chris, he was super tight making the weight last time, and you could see how exhausted he was at the end. He spent time in hospital afterwards, and obviously they needed weeks before the build-up to the next one. Because he's a little bit older, 7 months down the line, I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be fun for him again to make that weight. But because he did it last time, I think that they will have planned it long out. So I'm pretty sure that, of course, he's going to have his own shenanigans. He's going to have pictures of whatever he wants to post. We've seen the ambulance stuff and the constant jibes at Eddie and Matchroom. But I think that Chris will put out what he wants people to hear before the fight. Whether that's necessarily the truth, we're not quite sure. But I think that Bomac and the team will make sure that the weight cut isn't quite maybe as severe on fight week. I believe that they've taken their time with this, and I think that because he did it last time and it was pretty treacherous to watch, I think that this time he'll have worked longer and harder for that. However, the body is older and time waits for no man. Andre will tell you, very, very top level in the sport, and when it's not quite there anymore, can he go through that again, that 12 rounds, Chris? I mean, he gutted it out for me down the stretch and showed his champion's mentality, and when it would looked at times as though Conor might have him going, Chris stuck with him. Can he do that again? Can he go to the well again at this stage, at this age, and at this weight? Which is why I think a few people here are sort of leaning a little bit more to Conor before this one than they were last time. Even though he lost, I think they feel at 29 and the freshness, the fact that he was inactive for sort of 14 months before the last one. He's done 12 hard rounds at middleweight. I think people are believing that Conor Benn will come on for that. But with Eubank Jr.'s move to Bomac and the fact he won the last fight and by a little margin too on the cards, he's got to be favourite again going in. So it's captivating, isn't it?
Well, you heard Adam Smith reflect the unbelievable drama before the fight, and there was no way the fight could surpass the drama before the fight. Not the drama in the fight, right? And it did. And now that we've had all that, there's no way that the second fight can live up to or maybe surpass the first one, right? Right? There was no way the first fight could have done that. Who knows? Like maybe this one's, could you imagine if it surpasses the first one? Adam Smith, thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to your call.
Good seeing you, Adam.
A pleasure. See you soon, Mike.
I see you there, Adam. Looking forward to it.
Tickets to Eubank Jr. Benn are almost sold out. Scan the QR code and go get them while they're still there. It won't be for long. You can watch this fight, of course, right here exclusively on DAZN. More Inside the Ring after this.
Listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 185 fights on DAZN every year.
We've gone big. We've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts.
Are you going to take?
With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, undisputed.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, Shady McCoy, and Andre Berto, the man himself. All right.
Yes, sir.
That was Alexander Usyk's final fight at cruiserweight against Tony Bellew from on this day Inside the Ring in 2017. We've now got news on the undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk's most dangerous looking potential future challenger, maybe? Unbeaten Moses Itauma will face Jermaine Franklin, who got that win in a fight, I don't know that he won in my eyes, but he got the win on the undercard of Canelo Crawford. January 24th is the date for Itauma against Franklin at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester, and that will be live on DAZN. So guys, what kind of test do we think this is for Itauma?
I think it's certainly a step up for him. It's not a massive step up, but Jermaine Franklin's a capable guy. and went the distance with Anthony Joshua, Dillian White a couple of years ago. Just scored that upset win in a very close fight against Ivan Ditchko.
Yep.
And Ditchko's an undefeated guy. So look, I think it's another learning experience for Moses, and if you can blow out Franklin in a couple of rounds, the same way he did against Dillian White,
who's never been knocked off his feet. Franklin's never been knocked off his feet.
So I think Moses, knocked Dempsey McKean in one round in December. So Moses is on his way. They were looking for better opposition, but like we've said on this show, fighters do not want to fight Moses unless they have to.
There's always been guys throughout boxing history, a lot of times fat heavyweights, who can handle themselves. I mean, Jermaine Franklin's a fat heavyweight. You don't have eyes. But he can handle himself.
Yeah.
When I say always throughout boxing history, I'm talking about there was a guy, Fat Willie Meehan, back in the day, who Jack Dempsey couldn't beat on his way to the title. Fat Willie Meehan would beat up Jack. Right? There are these guys who can, they're big, they can handle themselves, and Jermaine Franklin's one of those guys. I think about Mike Tyson coming up, a guy like Jose Ribalta, who was in better shape than Franklin, but Ribalta gave him a good fight. And the question is, can Franklin, who can fight, give Itauma a good fight? Or is Itauma such an overwhelming offensive force that no kind of mediocre opponent will be able to stave off what he does? He's going to have to wait till he gets to the next level. What do you think?
I mean, I believe that's going to be the test, right? I mean, I believe that's why the fight is happening. Franklin is going to be able to stick in there. He's never been stopped. I think it's just going to be another test for Moses because he's just been running through everything. He's been making it look spectacular. Right. So we're going to see how he's going to come out this fight.
That combination, when you have that combination of hand speed and punching power, and you're willing to apply it aggressively, that is a lot for someone who's not special to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the confidence, too, though. If you watch Moses, he looks super confident, right? Even though Franklin has come off a win, I think it'll help Moses out with this experience. It's nothing wrong with getting more experience, but I'll tell you what, man, he's fast, he hits hard, and he is confident.
Yeah.
Right? So I like the fight. I like the fight just to get the more experience from Moses.
Yeah, I mean, Ditchko is so different. And Franklin got a win. I didn't know that he won that fight, but I called that fight. But on the undercard of Canelo Crawford, he got a win against Ditchko, who had a real amateur background, real big guy, but the exact opposite of a guy like Itauma. Everything is 1 and 1, 2. Mechanical. Everything is extremely mechanical. Yep. He's tall and kind of stiff. And Itauma is a dynamic, fluid, combination punching type of fighter. All right, guys, Eubank Jr., Conor, Benn 2, this Saturday. What is your final prediction for that fight? Andre Berto.
Woo! I know a lot of you guys might not like it, but I have been by late stoppage. And I want to see a trilogy happen. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, this second fight. I think, both guys, they understand that they're going into this fight with a lot on the line, a lot of legacy on the line. And I think they're going to come out there and put on a great show. Just as good as the first fight, hopefully.
Yeah, I could see, and Adam Smith made the point, when 7 months later, when you're already up there in age and the weight was a real problem the first time, it only gets, I can tell you from experience, it only gets harder as you get older.
Yes.
And if he's really drained by the weight and Benn is motivated to, he's inspired, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going Conor Benn also. I think, now he's had 12 rounds at 160. He's a welterweight, really. He had a couple of fights at 54. But I think that those 12 rounds are going to help him a lot with the experience. And even though Eubank did his training camp in Dubai where it's warm, it's pretty cold in London right now, and he's going to have to, shed off that weight in cold weather. Not as easy, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point, mate. I'm going with Conor, though, for a lot of different reasons. One is he was inactive the last fight he had. He was super inactive, right?
Another good point from Shady.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, I've been hot today. But I just think that has a lot to do with it. And also, I mean, Chris, that weight cut and all that, that matters, though. And he's older.
And that's...
Hey, you want to do it again? I got to go with Conor.
This is I think it's good. Like I said, the best value is a draw. I think this is a drawish fight. I thought the first fight was draw-ish. Eubank legitimately won. But I do agree with the analysis that a little bit older, still having to make the weight, Benn buoyed by the first experience. This is a drawish kind of fight to me. I think it's going to be a lot like the first one, actually.
And that's the thing,
maybe Benn does a little better.
And that's the thing with a lot of these guys. I mean, like I say, a lot of us in general, it's the training camps that we dread. And of course, towards Yeah, I mean, like I tell you, towards the fact that we're getting older as well. Like I say, when it comes to Chris Eubank, it's the training camps. He is older. He has to go through a long, extensive training camp again, and I just don't know if he's going to have the, just the zeal to go back in there and just put that type of work in for a huge fight.
And let me say this real quick. So I was going to say that another thing with the Conor is, if you watch the first fight, everything was like haymakers trying to get him out the way. He didn't really show no game plan or set nothing up. I think this fight will be different. But I want to ask you, because you talk about the older fighters.
Yeah.
Bomac is brought in for Chris Eubank, right?
Yeah.
And Terence Crawford ain't no young chicken.
Yeah.
Is there something about a trainer that knows how to work with older fighters, right?
Yeah, of course. Like I say, if you're fighting, if you train an older fighter, you can't try to grind him down. You can't grind him down. You have to try to be smart on the way that you prepare for these fights. So I think that he's bringing them in just to try to add a little bit more of an element in that sense, because they know that he's going to be cutting down the weight a little bit, but they want to try to do it smart this time. They don't want to try to drain him out. You understand what I'm saying? Because they understand that it's going to be a tough fight. You know what I mean? Like the first fight was. Yeah. So they got to try to be smart this time around and make sure that he has all the energy that he needs, for the second fight, and hopefully come out with another win.
So far, all they've done is surpass every expectation. That's right. True. Like the bar is too high, and they can they do it again?
Yeah.
Real quick, wanted to touch on a fight that took place Friday. 2020 U.S. Olympian Delonte Tiger Johnson scored a career best win over fringe contender Nicholas Flaz in their welterweight main event. By the way, guys, Flaz was riding a 6-fight win streak. Tiger Johnson looked excellent.
Tiger.
He was super sharp with counters. He just looked very, very sharp.
That's a quick brother right there.
He took a guy who was winning super quick, pull counters, all like super quick, and also precise. You take a guy who's on a win streak and you make him look like that, you made a statement. Mike, Tiger Johnson's been a bit up and down. With a performance like that, is this do you take this as a signal this time to make noise at 47?
Yeah, I do, Max. I mean, like we said, Tiger Johnson was an Olympian, very accomplished amateur, has all the athletic tools, certainly, and he's been a guy that a lot of people have been high on for a long time. And like you said, people maybe lost some steam on him, but 147 is not the deepest weight class. I don't see any reason why he can't make noise.
That fast.
See?
That's Tiger Johnson. It's not Tiger Woods. It's Tiger Johnson.
See what Shady is reacting to? That's the athlete eyeball test. He was an elite athlete, and when you put your eyes on a guy like that, you go, "That looks a little different."
Yeah,
and it did. It looked a little different.
Looked like he had the goods.
It looks like he had the goods.
For sure.
All right, time to rate that knockout. This is a fun new segment in the show. Rate that knockout. First up, we have James Osborne and Richard Levitsky from Saturday night in Hull in the UK in the finals of the one-day super middleweight tournament.
He looks strong.
Jeez.
EBM the heist.
Lord.
Took Osborne 10 seconds to connect.
Hook was nasty.
Yeah, he ain't waste no time, huh?
No.
He had something to do. He had somewhere to be.
Rate that knockout. How you rate that knockout?
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Dance.
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
Glass Joe.
10's the best? Is 10 the best?
Yeah, 10's the best. Yeah.
I give about 8.
Yeah, that's about 8.
That right hook right there. That might be a 9.
Yeah, it might give 8.
I give the knockdown a 9. I give the actual finish like a 7.
A 7?
A 7?
Yeah, but there was something to it. There was some pizzazz to it, Mike. Look at those little quick shots on the inside with force, Mike.
Look at his leg. Mike, look at his legs.
His legs.
7.5, maybe.
Come on, man. Get that man an 8. Get that man an 8.
Next up from France, boxing's a worldwide sport. Thursday night, Lenny Petrock lands a devastating left hook on Rashid Bellew.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, what we got, Mike? That was pretty good. That was
that's an 8.5. You stretched him, and he's not getting up.
Oh, he young right.
How do you get a 9+ out of this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I give it a 7.
A 7?
I give it a 7.
There we go.
Hold on.
I didn't see the body theatrics.
Lastly, over on DAZN in Australia, guys, Andrew Hunt taking care of business, sending Munir Fati face first into the canvas. Look at this. And there it is.
Okay, that's the best one. That's the winner.
You think so?
So we got some replays coming up. Check this out. So maybe Mike had some wisdom there. You don't give too high a score. It's like a slam dunk contest or something.
Exactly.
It's the face first of it all. What do you give that, Mike?
That's a 9.7.
9.7.
I mean, when you put a guy out face first,
and also he ragdolled him.
You know, that's a 10, yo.
That's tremendous.
It's a 10.
That's a 10. He's sleeping.
And the arms
are like this, yeah.
That's a 10.
That's a 10.
That's probably
10, 9-7.
He wins the weekend.
That's Michael Jordan from the free throw line.
It's about the body theatrics. You got to make sure that
body theatrics.
if it's like that.
We're heading up to the lexicon, Max. Body theatrics.
Can I tell you what's not fair about boxing? Do you know when you're not a star fighter, right? When you're fighting on a card, you're making a little money. You're not a rich man. You're a working guy, right? And you have the courage to strip down half naked in front of the world and face another. There's a reason not everyone does this, right?
That's a fact.
And then you take that risk and you get knocked out like that. And then everyone's clowning you on TV after. It's not, you know, there needs to be a bonus for guys who get knocked out like that.
This boxing
Life comes at you fast, dog.
This boxing game is crazy.
Buckle up.
Andre, you won't be with us before the Ring 4 card a week from Saturday, so we'd like you quickly to give your predictions on the following fights, okay? Benavidez, Anthony Yard.
I love Anthony Yard. You know, good friend, man, but Benavidez, man, he's young. He's like a buzzsaw. He's just like a buzzsaw right now. He's full of confidence, man. I just don't see anybody. I mean, literally anybody beating him right now.
You hear the phrase stacked card thrown around.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, is this a stacked card? Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr.
Devin Haney, Brian Norman. If we see Devin Haney show up, like we feel like he knows how to show up, he has great boxing skill. I can give it to Devin Haney for that fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, though. I think, you know, like Brian Norman is going to come out to try to make a statement.
He can hit.
You know what I mean? He's a big puncher, and we're going to see what Devin has that night as well, man. Either he's going to rise up to the occasion or...
Look, Ryan Garcia is on this show with us, right? Ryan's our guy. But the fact is, I feel for Devin Haney because he has risen to the occasion throughout his career. The better the opponent, the better he's fought, except for one fight where a guy didn't make weight and got caught juicing, right? Like both. Yeah. And that's his one loss, and you can't take that back, and you can't take back the effect it had on him.
The effect that it had on him.
However, against Ramirez, I do not think that Devin Haney beats Brian Norman Jr. He will have to be a lot better than that.
Norman is so confident, too. I mean, you can't discount how confident he is. It's real.
And I think Norman
Devin ain't gonna fight like that.
And I think Norman is coming off of that as well too. I believe that he feels that Devin isn't all the way back mentally like he should be, and I believe he's gonna really try to impose his will on Devin, you know, for that fight. But
before we go, guys, we got to take a look at the schedule, the DAZN schedule, which is Saturday's pay-per-view from London. Headlining is the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Talking about it all day. It's a 5-fight card with 2 other high-level undercard bouts. Adam Azim facing Kurt Scobie. By the way, Azim, an impressive guy. And Jack Catterall faces Ego Esserman.
Yeah, 2 very good fights. Adam Azim, lightning fast hands, big-time prospect, and a contender now, actually. And, of course, you have Asuman coming off of that big win over Josh Taylor, Catterall's rival. So, 2 big fights. That
does it for Andre Berto. Thanks for joining us today, my man.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Hopefully I see you guys again here soon.
Mike Coppinger, Shady McCoy, I'm Max Kellerman.
Was it quick?
Was
he sleeping?
Don't show that to him. He was fast for real. Don't show him that.
Yo, you know the jacket. It costs a lot of money.
Don't show him that fake fast. He don't have to make any noise when he throws it.
See? He's like what I got going on.
It's the jacket, Max. It's restricting his arms.
You see how he's doing?